If you've made it this far, listening to me right now, know that it's no mere coincidence. It's not by chance that you are here, seeking to understand more about your purpose, about the reason for your existence. I know that, many times, the weight of life, the inner struggles, and that constant feeling of being lost can feel unbearable. You've tried everything, helped many people, stood up for the truth, and lived with integrity, but still, something seems missing. As if, deep down, there's an emptiness. If this resonates with you, I want to tell you something important. You are not alone. There are many people who feel the same. They see themselves as chosen for something greater, protected by a divine force, but at the same time, they don't exactly know where to go. This search for understanding your purpose is one of the most crucial ones you'll make in your life. Today, I want to walk alongside you, discussing how to find that divine purpose, even when you feel lost, directionless, and sometimes even alone. But I promise you, there is a path, and it's closer than you think. In the meantime, I'd love to hear your experiences and thoughts about this journey. How have you been dealing with these questions in your life? If you believe this video might touch someone's heart, share it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content that can help you connect with your purpose. Oh, and leave a comment saying where you're watching from, so we can create this special connection together. Have you ever felt like you've always been different? Maybe since you were young, you saw the world in a unique way, different from others. Perhaps you noticed details that others overlooked, or even felt some kind of invisible protection around you. Well, my friend, this is no accident. Many of us, the chosen ones, begin to realize this early on. The feeling that we have something special, as if we're called to a greater mission. But at the same time, this perception can create great confusion. After all, why do you feel so different from everyone else? And if it's true that there's a purpose for your life, why hasn't it fully revealed itself yet? That's the big question many of us, the chosen ones, face. We feel deep inside that there's something important to be done in this world, but we can't clearly see the path ahead. I understand you. I know what it's like to struggle with the feeling of being lost, without direction, while at the same time, you know you're different. This difference is what makes you special. It's what connects you to your purpose, even if you haven't fully discovered what it is yet. God created you with a unique purpose, something only you can accomplish. And although the path seems uncertain now, know that every step you've taken up to this point is part of this journey. The feeling of being lost doesn't mean you're failing. In fact, it's a sign that you're in the process, being prepared for something greater. What many people don't realize is that this feeling of being different, of standing apart from the world, is part of the calling. It's God shaping you for the mission He has for you. So, when you feel this way, instead of fighting against it, start seeing it as a clue, a sign that you're on the right path, even if you can't yet see the whole road ahead. Waiting can lead to immense frustration. I know that, at many points, you've questioned why, even though you know you're different, you still haven't found your purpose. This uncertainty can turn into a constant internal battle, where we feel trapped and even start to doubt whether there is truly a mission for us. But allow me to share a truth that might change your perspective. Purpose often doesn't reveal itself all at once. It's a continuous process, something that unfolds as you walk, learn, and grow. Life is not a book with all the pages opened and already written in front of us. God, in His infinite wisdom, allows us to discover our path gradually. Often, we wish the complete plan would be revealed to us clearly and immediately, but if it were that way, where would the growth be? Where would the faith we need to develop along this journey come from? Imagine for a moment that you received your entire mission at once. It could be overwhelming. Many times, we're not prepared to handle the fullness of our purpose right at the start. That's why God gives us the puzzle pieces gradually, as we become stronger and ready to fit them together. And this is where something crucial comes in: patience. Patience is, without a doubt, one of the biggest challenges for those who feel chosen. We want immediate answers, we want to act, we want to fulfill what we feel is our duty. But, as I've mentioned before, purpose is a process of maturation. As you live, face challenges, and go through the experiences that God places in your path, you transform. Every small decision, every situation that seems senseless, is actually shaping you for what is to come. I know it can be difficult to accept this, especially when you feel lost or directionless. But think of your life like a plant that's growing. When you plant a seed, it doesn't become a tree overnight. It needs time, care, and light. You are that plant, and your purpose is the tree that will one day bear fruit. But the process of growth is essential. Without it, the tree wouldn't have the strength to sustain the fruit it will produce. And as you're in this growth process, remember something very important. You don't need to know your full purpose to already be living it. Often, purpose is present in the small things you do every day. When you stand for the truth, when you help someone, when you spread kindness and justice around you, you are already living part of your purpose. It may not seem like a great achievement now, but these daily actions are like bricks building the path to your greater mission. So, don't be too hard on yourself for not knowing your full mission yet. Be patient and trust the process. You're on the right path, even if you can't see the full picture yet. And most importantly, God is walking with you. He sees every step you take, knows your heart, and understands the right moment to show you the next step of your journey. One thing we need to understand is that the path to discovering our purpose is directly tied to self-knowledge. And here, perhaps, lies one of the biggest challenges for those who feel chosen. Knowing yourself may seem simple, but it's not. Many of us spend years, even decades, trying to understand who we really are, what our talents are, and what the true reason for our existence is. If you're over 50 and still questioning your mission, know that this is not a bad thing. Self-knowledge is a continuous process, and what you discovered about yourself in your 20s or 30s can be very different from what you're discovering now. Life changes, and with it, we change as well. Your mission can evolve over time. Maybe what God asked you to do years ago made perfect sense back then, but now the calling may be different. And to hear it clearly, you need to know yourself deeply. Many of the chosen ones struggle internally because they feel they don't fully know themselves. There's a war happening inside you, where one side knows you're special, that you have an important mission, but the other side feels doubt, uncertainty, and fear of not living in alignment with that mission. This is normal. Don't judge yourself for still being in search of answers. The search itself is part of the process. Waiting for answers can be incredibly frustrating. I know that many times you've questioned why, despite feeling different, you still haven't discovered your purpose. This doubt can turn into an internal battle where we feel trapped, disconnected, and at times, we even start doubting the existence of a greater mission for our life. But there is something important you need to know. Purpose is not something that appears all at once. It unfolds over time, gradually, as you move forward in your journey, learn, and grow. Life is not like a book where all the pages are open and written out for us. God, in His infinite wisdom, guides us, allowing us to discover our purpose as we progress. Often, we long for quick and clear answers, wishing the entire plan would be revealed immediately. However, if that were the case, what value would the process have? Where would the personal growth, the trust we need to build along the way, be? Imagine for a moment that you received your mission all at once. It would undoubtedly be overwhelming. Many times, we are not ready to handle the magnitude of our purpose at the start. That's why God gives us each piece of the puzzle slowly, as we become stronger and ready to fit them together. This is where something crucial comes into play: patience. Patience is, without a doubt, one of the greatest challenges faced by those who feel they have a divine purpose. We want to act, we want to fulfill our mission as quickly as possible. However, as I've mentioned, purpose is a process of maturation. As you face challenges and go through the experiences that God places on your path, He is shaping you. Every decision, every situation that seems meaningless, is actually preparing you for something greater. It may be difficult to accept this process, especially when we feel lost. But think of your life like a plant. When you plant a seed, it doesn't instantly turn into a tree. It needs time, light, and care. You are that plant. Your purpose is the tree that will one day bear fruit. But without the growth process, the tree wouldn't have the strength to sustain the fruit it will produce. Understand that while you are in this growth process, you do not need to have complete clarity about your purpose. Often, it is already present in the small daily actions. When you help someone, when you spread kindness, when you stand up for the truth, you are already living part of your purpose. These actions may seem small now, but they are like bricks that are building the path for the greater mission God has for you. So, don't be too hard on yourself for not yet knowing what your full mission is. Be patient and trust the process. You're on the right path, even without seeing the whole picture. The most important thing is that God is with you every step of the way. He sees your actions, knows your heart, and knows the exact moment to reveal the next step. There's something fundamental we need to understand. The path to discovering our purpose is deeply tied to self-awareness. For many of us, this search is one of the greatest internal battles. Knowing oneself may seem simple, but in practice, it is a complex challenge. Many times, we spend years, even decades, trying to understand who we are, what our talents are, and what our true reason for being here is. If you are over 50 and still questioning your mission, know that this is not wrong. Self-awareness is a continuous process, and what you discovered about yourself in your 20s or 30s may be very different from what you are discovering now. Life changes, and with it, we change. Purpose can evolve over time. What seemed to be God's calling years ago may not make as much sense now. To hear this new calling clearly, you need to deeply know yourself. Many of the chosen ones struggle with the feeling that they don't fully know themselves, creating an internal conflict. One part of you knows you're special, that there's an important mission for you, but the other part feels doubt, uncertainty, and fear that you are not living according to that purpose. This is completely normal. Don't judge yourself for still searching for answers. The search itself is an essential part of the process. Self-awareness involves looking within, allowing yourself to feel, question, and reflect on what truly makes your heart beat faster. It's in moments of introspection that we often find the clues that God places in our path. Ask yourself, what makes me feel alive? What brings me peace and satisfaction? Where do I feel I'm being led? And remember, self-awareness does not mean solving all your problems at once. It also involves accepting the parts of you that are broken, the ones still in the process of evolving. Divine purpose does not require perfection. God works with you as you are now, with all your imperfections. In fact, it's through your vulnerabilities that He performs miracles. Sometimes, self-awareness means accepting that you are in a moment of waiting, of learning, and know that this is also part of the plan. In moments of silence, many feel abandoned or helpless, but I want you to think about something important. God's silence does not mean absence. He has not abandoned you, and you are not alone. On the contrary, many times God gives us answers through silence because He is shaping and strengthening us for what is to come. Silence can be one of the most powerful forms of spiritual preparation. Sometimes, He silences us so that we can hear our own inner voice, so we can fill the void with faith and trust. This is a test of faith. When Jesus spent 40 days in the desert, He also faced silence and solitude. It was during this period that He strengthened Himself to fulfill the mission ahead of Him. The same happens with us. If you find yourself in a moment of silence where answers don't seem to come, understand that this silence has a purpose. It may be that God is working behind the scenes, preparing you for something great. Or maybe He is giving space for you to hear your own soul and discover the path you need to follow. This silence is not punishment, but an opportunity to practice patience, faith, and trust. It is an invitation to dive deeper into your spirituality, to reconnect with what you already know within yourself but have yet to recognize. When the right moment comes, God will speak and reveal the next step, but until then, embrace the silence as a crucial part of the process. During the process of discovering our purpose, it is essential to learn to trust in what we cannot see or understand. This moment challenges us to have faith. Remember how Jesus spent 40 days in the desert, facing silence and solitude, but it was during this time that He was strengthened for the mission that awaited Him. Similarly, we also go through phases of silence in our lives, where God seems distant, but it is in this silence that He shapes and prepares us for what is to come. Often, God silences us so that we can hear our inner voice, helping us connect more deeply with our essence and with Him. When this happens, we need to learn to trust, even when we cannot clearly see what lies ahead. This silence is not a punishment, but an opportunity. It teaches us patience, faith, and trust. It is an opportunity to deepen our spirituality, to reconnect with what we may already know, but have not yet recognized in ourselves. When the right moment comes, God will guide us, showing us the next step. Until then, we must embrace this silence, understanding that it is part of our process. In our journey to find purpose, we sometimes feel alone, but the truth is that community plays a vital role. When we look around, we realize we are not alone. There are others who share similar doubts, longings, and challenges. These connections are essential because they help clarify who we are and what our path is. Being part of groups or communities provides us with a sense of belonging and renewal, as well as mutual support. When we exchange experiences with others going through similar situations, we find comfort and wisdom. It is in this environment of sharing that we can hear stories that resonate with our own, and often, by listening to someone else's journey, we find clues about our own mission. The strength that comes from community can be transformative. Together, we are stronger. When we unite with others who are also seeking to understand their purpose, we create a space of support where everyone encourages one another. Moreover, the collective energy of a group can be very powerful. Often, seeing others advance in their journeys inspires us to move forward as well. And remember, by helping someone in their search for purpose, you are also taking steps toward your own path. This exchange is transformative and offers incredible spiritual growth. Each person has something to teach and something to learn, and this cycle of exchange is fundamental to our development as a community. If you feel lost or isolated, seek groups that align with your values and your journey. Whether it's a prayer group, a meditation community, or an online support circle, the sharing of experiences and mutual support may be exactly what you need to move forward. Another crucial aspect in the search for purpose is the acceptance of vulnerability. We live in a society that often values strength and resilience, but what we forget is that being vulnerable is actually one of the greatest demonstrations of courage. Vulnerability allows us to connect more deeply with ourselves and with others. When we acknowledge our weaknesses and fears, we create space to be authentic, and it is in this authenticity that we find our true selves. The search for purpose often requires us to confront parts of ourselves that we don't want to see. This can be uncomfortable and create resistance, but when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we make room for God's light to enter our hearts, illuminating the areas that need healing and growth. Vulnerability teaches us the importance of acceptance, accepting that we are human, that we make mistakes, and that we are always in a process of evolution. When we allow ourselves to be imperfect, we open ourselves up to the possibility of learning and transformation. And this transformation is essential to discovering our divine mission. After all, how can we serve the world if we are not willing to be authentic and show who we truly are? Vulnerability should not be seen as a weakness, but rather as a strength. It is through vulnerability that we build genuine and meaningful relationships. When you share your struggles, uncertainties, and fears, it can encourage others to open up as well. This cycle of exchange creates a crucial support network, and often, it is this support that opens doors to new opportunities on our journey. Therefore, do not be afraid to expose yourself and be vulnerable. It is an essential part of your spiritual path and may be what leads you directly to understanding your purpose. In the most challenging moments, it's easy to feel alone, but remember, you are not alone. There are others also facing the same difficulties. By allowing yourself to be vulnerable, you take a step toward clarity and a deeper connection with the divine. I invite you to go further on your journey. It is unique and full of meaning, and each one of us plays a crucial role in God's grand plan. Do not let fear or doubt hold you back from moving forward. If you feel lost or in search of answers, know that you are not alone. I encourage you to reflect on everything shared here. Grab a piece of paper and write down your thoughts, pains, and hopes. What questions still haunt you? What are your deepest desires? What do you truly want to achieve in this world? And most importantly, share your journey with us. Comment below with your discoveries, doubts, and experiences. Let's create a community of mutual support and inspiration. Every story has the power to guide someone in their own search. If this content has touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell so you don't miss out on updates. I'm here to accompany you on this journey of self-discovery and transformation. Remember, your mission is waiting for you. Let's discover together what God has prepared for your life. May divine light illuminate your path, and may you find the peace and clarity you long for. A big hug, and see you in the next video.